Hi everyone, back for part 2 of Willpower. And I think I ended part 1 talking about sleep deprivation a little bit, so let's get started with a continuation on sleep deprivation. So, sleep deprivation affects how the body uses glucose, which you need for energy. And when you're tired, your cells don't absorb glucose as efficiently from the bloodstream as compared to when you're not tired. So if you're like low on energy, you'll start to crave sugary food. Now your prefrontal cortex needs energy to operate efficiently, and if it's running on empty, so to speak, it won't be able to efficiently counter the impulsive behavior that one might be prone to engage in, such as binge eating or impulsive buying, etc. Now, stress can also weaken one's willpower. Stress just operates from a different system. Think fight or flight and the release of stress hormones, which means dopamine is amped up, which means any temptation might be more tempting. Okay, so the most effective stress relievers are, and we talked about this in the first videos, but I'm adding some other stuff. It's exercise, praying, reading, listening to music, spending time with friends and family, getting a massage, going for a walk, meditating, yoga, doing a creative hobby. Now, if you have ever seen the movie Bugsy, check out the scene where Bugsy, Warren Beatty, is doing his own form of a stress buster. What he does is it's almost like a mantra, okay, or a tongue twister that he uses as a mantra. But he repeatedly says, 20 dwarves took turns doing handstands on the carpet. 20 dwarves took turns doing handstands on the carpet. That repetitive talk is a stress buster. Some people will knit or sew or needlepoint or whatever. Stress buster. Okay, one last thing. It might be fun just to try and be aware of how often you are subjected to attempts to catch you when your willpower is down. Okay, so do you go to the mall or shop online when you're stressed or upset, or had a bad night's sleep? Okay, willpower is going to be a little lower. But being aware of this can help you shore up your willpower so you don't buy stuff you don't need or really don't even want. Okay? So if you're shopping for stuff, it may be helpful to have a list of stuff you already own. Reference to Keedy in the first video where he goes shopping with hoarders, and he's teaching them, okay, what does your list say? Well, you've already got this, you don't need it. Okay, you've got 4 of these, you don't need it, right? So it's the same sort of deal. Okay, if you want to buy something, check your list, see if you already have it. This helps reduce impulsiveness and helps your prefrontal cortex kick into gear. Okay, now if you see yourself reaching for another beer, can you be mindful of why this is so? Do you really want it? Or, is it because you're stressed, or everybody else is drinking, or you just saw a commercial for beer? Okay, do you really want it? One of the tricks, if you ever stay up late, you notice you get a lot of these infomercials and commercials where they're selling you something right now, and you can buy it right now at that time. Just, call them up. Why at that time? Why? Because you're probably tired. You've probably worked. Maybe you've already had your beer, so you're just a little more fatigued. That's smart marketing going on there, but you need to be aware of that. You're probably like half asleep, and they make it look so interesting to you, and your prefrontal cortex isn't functioning so well, so you might be a little more prone to being impulsive and buying that thing. Okay, be aware of that. I remember decades ago when I went looking for a Jeep, this salesman used one of his tricks. There's somebody on the lot that that wants to buy it, but we're going to beat him to it. Okay. There's a lot of tricks out there. Just be aware that kind of helps make willpower be a little bit easier. And that is it. Thanks.